Welcome back to Woke Folks, where logic often takes a holiday and the debates are as spicy as ever. Let's unpack today's buffet of bizarre and baffling moments.
And he has a right to express his opinion. However, that right is not unlimited, and he is under some special limitations that wouldn't apply to normal people because his companies, specifically Starlink and SpaceX, are government contractors. And as such, he has obligations to the government that would, for any normal person, and should for him, require him to moderate his speech in the interest of national security. So what you have is somebody who runs really strategic defense and aerospace projects for the federal government who's actively undermining the government which is paying him. And somewhere in there is a legal case that needs to be prosecuted.
An MSNBC commentator has big dreams of Elon Musk becoming a government puppet, because who needs independence when you can have state-run billionaires?
The hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. You'll notice they purposefully pronounce her name wrong. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
People like Kamala Harris.
But as Kamala said,
Kamala Harris.
Kamala and I.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris is Kamala.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
That Kamala Harris was a very good prosecutor.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
I know her.
Kamala was first Biden and Kamala.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. And to the Kamala point,
They purposefully pronounce her name wrong. They say Kamala. They do it all the time. It is on purpose.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris was talking about this.
Kamala Harris. Kamala.
Mispronouncing Kamala Harris's name is a no-no, tagged as rape by a Wokey, but watch them twist their logic into pretzels, trying to justify their own missteps.
I still want to get coward! Why do you need a to protect you?
What's that? Oh, shit.
You don't hear it? You don't hear it?
Remember, when you get his age, you'll need a hearing aid too.
Supremacists! I won't be a nasty man at his age.
How do you know who's a white supremacist and who isn't?
All white people are pretty much the bad guy.
Really?
Let me just start from there. You'll have to earn my trust if you're white because all of you guys have some fucked up.
Someone told me actually that because I'm white, I have the bloodline of murderers and rapists in my bloodline. No, someone who agrees with you told me that I have the bloodline of murderers and rapists in my blood.
It's true. Colonizers.
Man, there's no way. There's no way.
So you think I'm a rapist? You think I'm a rapist because I'm white?
Probably. I think you probably have, and you haven't.
You don't see the irony of your own.
You think I've raped people without knowing it?
People do that all the time. All the time. You don't even know that. Says that you probably have.
That is such circular logic. Okay, but
No, it's called patriarchy, motherfucker.
okay, delineate in detail how there's a patriarchy. I know what it means. Okay, I know what it means.
Don't assume his gender.
I know what it means.
Don't assume his gender.
I know what patriarchy means, but can you explain to me how we live in a patriarchy with evidence, please?
Gobble, 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 bitch.
That's speciesism and sexism.
Speciesism.
That's a sexist microaggression.
No way.
That's a sexist microaggression.
Not allowed to make up isms now. Master of slaves.
I identify as a troll. That's kin. I jerk off to not you. So, anyone else have any justification for the guy who told me that because I'm white?
Antifa claims all whites are rapists and rapists, but a brave soul steps up to confront this sweeping generalization with cold, hard logic.
Like, really what we're talking about is the female experience, which you can't speak to.
Yeah, but I can speak to the male experience. The male experience, I would think, would be able to speak much more highly as to how many men would actually be determined to do some harm to you if you were in the middle of a forest and they came across you in the forest.
You're right, but this is a podcast of women, and we're talking about women, so that's why.
Well, it's a podcast of women, but there's clearly men on the panel. It's not our job to kiss your ass Because you're a woman, I'm having an adult conversation with you. I don't know why I need to look at everything from feminist standpoint theory or from your perspective when you so easily dismiss mine. I'm telling you that your number's absurd. It makes no sense. And as you retract it, you very quickly retracted it because you realized how absurd it was. Why would you say that I have to be a woman in order to speak to?
A man dismantles a wokey feminist argument so smoothly, you'd think it was scripted.
I'm not sure. I don't live in their society. I don't know if their society is geared in such a way that if you're not Chinese, that you have less advantages in the society.
Well,
I don't live there.
Hold on.
I can only speak to the society I live in, and I can say white people do have advantages in this society. In China, I don't live there, but sure, if it's set up so that the people who are like Chinese they get way more advantages than people who happen to be black but live in China, then sure, there should be one there too. But I don't live there, so I'd rather speak about what I'm educated about, and I am educated about where I live.
That's fair. I think to get at the heart of Brian's question, I'll ask a different one in the same vein. So Japan has a staunch immigration policy. Mm-hmm. They don't want people who are not Japanese to immigrate into Japan. They want to keep it majority Japanese. Mm-hmm. Is that a wrongful policy from your perspective?
I mean, the policy in itself, yes. However, I would need to understand why that. I don't know why that policy exists.
Because they want to keep it Japanese. That's the motivation.
If it's just simply because they want pure Japanese blood, then 100% that's wrong.
So then you would apply the same logic to Israel.
I mean,
we're not.
I'm just asking.
I mean, I know we weren't allowed to talk.
We're not going to dive into it. I'm just asking you to apply the same logic there.
I would apply the same logic that if there's any place where you have to look a certain way to have an advantage, and that is the only reason you get that advantage, and that you naturally will be disadvantaged simply because of the way you're born, whether that's your gender, whether that's your color, whether it's anything, that is not right. And I believe everyone should have an equal opportunity to be successful in any given society.
So one question for you then. So you would then be in favor of Europeans, white Americans, moving to Japan, attempting to gain positions of political power in Japan. Would you be in favor of that?
If they were someone of European descent.
A wokey feminist wants to end white advantages, but draws a blank on global inequalities. Selective outrage, much?
There's the flesh, there's the stuff, but then there's the form, which tells you about what that thing is. And so my liver might look a lot like your liver, but they're different livers. One's mine, for instance, and one is yours. So you don't have a right to mine, and I don't have a right to yours, because your liver is for you, and my liver is for me. And we all know this, and we all act that way. That's why you're not coming up here and attacking me and ripping my kidneys out and selling it on a market in Wuhan or something like that. But we pretend that we don't believe these things because it helps to advance an argument which is totally indefensible and unnatural, namely that we ought to kill a baby or something like that.
So your organs are for you and you alone. You get to decide what to do with them. But a woman doesn't get that choice about her womb, about her ovaries.
Well, the baby is not
uterus.
an organ of hers. A baby is an individual human being.
So you get to make choices about your internal organs, but a living, breathing woman does not.
Well,
okay, I understand.
No, I don't think you do understand, because I don't think you understand very well at all, unfortunately, because you're suggesting that the baby is an organ of the woman, which is preposterous, obviously. You know, the baby is differentiated from organs by its DNA, by how it will develop, by, I don't think she's listening to the rest of my answer.
It's not worth listening to, Matt.
You know what that was like? That girl knows something so smart, which is, when I was a young man, a single guy, right? The best way that you could really, if you liked a girl and, you know, the girl was seeing some other guy, the best way you could needle the guy is by getting the guy's name right. You say, hey, you know, how's Mark doing these days? Oh, actually, his name is Mag.
Michael Knowles delivers such a compelling pro-life argument that a pro-abortion wokey literally walks out, exit stage left.
One of the great things that is essential to Britishness is a sense of public duty, that you do things for nothing with organisations that can't pay. Ms. Penny, who has been advertising these great left-wing virtues, and I were due to debate for a very impoverished little society called the Thomas Paine Society on the virtues of a republic on the one hand and a monarchy on the other. I was prepared to do it for free. She insisted on trying to charge such a large fee that the event had to be cancelled. Now, I think that is as mean and grasping as some runt comedian, and I will not be lectured to by a jumped-up public school girl like you. I came from the bottom, and I will not have it.
Excuse me. May I respond to that?
Right of reply. Go on.
I think I deserve a right of reply to that. I personally feel that asking to be paid...
Did you or did you not do what I've just said?
I was going to respond to that, but...
Why not do it straight away? Did you or did you not claim such a large fee that the event had to be cancelled?
No, I didn't, Mr.
Well,
Starkey.
then every member of the committee is lying, and you, clearly as usual, are telling the truth.
No, this is not what was said to me. I
have emails. That wonderful, wonderful method of tracking.
No, I don't think I'm going to respond to it. One of the reasons the event was cancelled partly.
A man pulls back the curtain on an SJW wokie, exposing the reality behind her social justice facade.
Society need men.
Yes and no.
No.
So why yes and why no for you? And then I'll ask you why you said no.
Well, because in today's society, sometimes you don't need the male to have a baby anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I would say yes and no.
It's not like a moral thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm like we can exist without men only
Yeah.
because new research has been discovered of making egg into sperm, so we can reproduce without men. So it's not like a moral thing. It's more of like if men just died right now, could we survive? Yes, because of the new research that they're doing. They it's possible for lesbians to have a baby
Without a male sperm.
Right.
Yeah, because they turned it into.
Woke feminists believe in a future without men, touting a feminist science of reproduction. Science fiction meets social justice.
In what sense is our society male-dominated?
The fact that the vast majority of wealth is owned by men, the vast majority of capital is owned by men. Women do more unpaid labor.
A huge proportion of people who are seriously disaffected are men. Most people in prison are men. Most people who are on the street are men. Most victims of violent crime are men. Most people who commit suicide are men. Most people who die in wars are men. People who do worse in school are men. Where's the dominance here precisely? What you're doing is you're taking a tiny substrata of hyper-successful men and using that to represent the entire structure of Western society. There's nothing about that.
Jordan Peterson calmly debunks a woke feminist's claims about male-dominated societies with facts and polite Canadian charm.
Can't use neopronouns to refer to me, and you need a word that you already know how it fits into the English language. You may refer to me as it, its. They, them makes me super dysphoric. It, its is cool. Non-noun neopronouns are still my preferred, especially the ones that keep the E sound, like E or Z or V. But if you need a pronoun while you're learning those, or if for some reason neopronouns are inaccessible to you, then it, its. Of course, if you're not using my pronouns just because you don't want to or you think they're invalid.
I think you're nuts.
Communicating with wokies? You might need a dictionary for their pronouns, or maybe just a telepathic connection.
K to 3, you got the basics, bigender, cisgender, demigender, what the f*** is that? Androgender, fluid, horgogender, intersex, jerks, what is that one? I can't even pronounce that. Off-gender, pangender, gender questioning, gender assignment, subgender, yes, trans. Well, I don't even know what that one is. It is just Chinese gender. What the fuck?
An elementary school in Canada introduces the wokey ABCs, because why learn the alphabet when you can learn activism?
You are supporting Nazis. Do you understand that?
Communism?
Yeah, I fucking am.
They
killed
way more
people.
Don't pour your coffee on me.
I will.
Than the Nazis?
Do you understand that fascism is here?
What is wrong
Y'all
with
understand
you?
that Nazis are
What
fucking
is
here?
wrong with you, woman?
Nazi was
What
just
is
elected
wrong
in
with
Brazil.
You're pouring coffee on strangers. You have to ask yourself, what the hell is wrong with you?
Nazis are shooting my people.
You're throwing milk at people.
Nazis are shooting my people.
Right,
I don't give a damn.
Nazis are socialists, by the way.
Nazis are not fucking socialists, you dumbass. Pick up a history class, you piece of shit.
National Socialism. National Socialist is actually the name of the...
The National Socialists. Oh my god, as if I don't know this is a fucking
When she
history
starts
major.
mocking you, that's when there's no argument left.
My god. Why do y'all always focus on the socialist part of that instead of the nationalist part of that? Why don't you realize that there are KPD, Communist Party, Socialist Party in the German parliament at the same time? Goddamn idiots.
A socialist wokie loses their cool and throws coffee in a heated debate. Talk about a caffeine crash.
Coming here, going away from the country where it's in war. What are you talking about? They're trying to escape for their lives.
So how does fit into this equation?
We were talking first about Mexicans, and then you start talking about Canada. I don't get it.
Right, and I mentioned the refugees and asked how many you were willing to house.
I'm not interested to talk to someone who thinks that...
A wokie SJW has a mental hiccup live, trying to articulate a point, but ending up utterly confused. It's like watching a human version of a buffering video. Drag Queen Story Hour goes too far, with money thrown at a child while adults cheer. A site that screams for a reality check.
Think you work harder than Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Probably like 90% of the population works harder than Elon Musk.
What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
What do I do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
I go to class, try to keep my grades up so that I don't have to lose my scholarship, so that I can continue to go to school, so that I can gain an education and don't fall into the same generational cycle that my family is, that has never been to college, has to live in a poor town. I'm just trying to do better for myself, and the stakes are higher for me as a poor person because of these scholarships that I have to keep my grades up for. So it's very stressful on a day-to-day basis. And Elon Musk or someone like that with that background who has billions of dollars never has to worry about that.
But you know, Elon Musk's parents weren't rich.
Yeah, they were. They owned an emerald mine.
No, he started PayPal and sold it. So I just want to confirm before we go, because you guys are very great. Sure. You're convinced 100% that you work harder than Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Wokies claim they work harder than Elon Musk. Next, they'll say they moonlight as rocket scientists.
Women's rights. But we can't define what a woman is. But also men can be women. And no uterus, no opinion. But also men can get pregnant. Men are oppressing us. But also, it's okay if biological men take over our spaces and our sports. Women are so over-sexualized in this culture. But it's empowering if women are the ones sexualizing themselves. Are you guys quite done yet? Like, are you okay?
A woman trolls a wokie feminist so perfectly, it's almost a public service.
Do you believe you could pick your pronouns?
Yes.
Do you believe you could pick your adjectives?
Yes. You can choose different adjectives.
So I could be
different
I could be
use.
small, I could be strong, I could be rich, I could be smart just by my own imagination?
It's a matter of social utility.
Okay, so what do you think determines reality?
You can empirically measure someone's chromosomes, but you can't empirically measure how much of a man or a woman someone is. So what makes something more manly versus more feminine? There's
testosterone, estrogen, muscle mass, size,
that's related to
proclivity towards emotional distress.
But you can change those. But you can change those.
I'm sorry? You can
change levels of testosterone and estrogen or androgen levels.
Well, you could suppress artificially and put things in. You could also remove critical body parts. There's a lot of things you could do that are not right. Thank you. No, next question. Thank you.
You like Joe Biden?
Thank you.
Joe Biden is not.
Thanks for being here.
Charlie Kirk brings out the big logical guns against a pro-LGBTQ wokie, leaving no room for rebuttal.
Who do you prefer?
Trump or Kamala?
Kamala Harris.
And why do you say that?
I like her because she stands up against, like, Trump's kind of like a bully in politics. She's not afraid to, like, stand up against him. And first female president, first black female president would be amazing. You know, gotta support our women. And she supports women, like, supports, like, abortion rights and everything, and rights, and I think it's really important.
What's the worst thing about Trump that you don't like?
Yeah, sexist, Islamophobic, xenophobic, homophobic. He doesn't support rights, abortion rights, he hates women. Not a great person.
And for the Trump supporters out there who would say, where's your proof? Would you have any?
I mean, off the top of my head, it's just like he's done a lot of bad stuff. Like, it's in the media. If you look it up, it's up. And off the top of my head, I can't give you anything, but I wrote a paper about it for one of my classes. So if you like to read my paper. Yeah, I just think that the bad things that Trump has done, like, far outweighs the bad things that Kamala's done. And she's done so much good for the country.
What's your favorite policy of Kamala Harris?
Abortion rights, or like her stance on, like, marriage and everything, like equal marriage opportunities. I think the same, because, like, abortion rights are very important, especially, like, people who, like, are risking their lives for their pregnancies and they're not allowed to get abortions because of dumb laws. So I think that's really important.
You guys know about the border crisis right now?
A little bit, yeah.
So in comparison to reproductive rights and border issues, which one do you think holds more weight?
When it comes to, like, the border crisis, I think it should be easier to immigrate here because there's really no, I don't think, like, there's a big reason to be keeping everybody out. Like,
what about the, like, those cartel members, sex offenders, you know, stuff like what happened up in Georgia? Just bad people. Do you think that's not a good enough reason?
I mean, like, that is a reason. You could do, like, I mean, I'm sure immigration requires some sort of background check, but I mean, there's bad people who are American too. There's plenty of American pedophiles, gang members, cartel members.
Do you think that Kamala has been successful the past 3.5 years in office?
I don't know too much about what she's done during her vice presidency, but I know what she can do, and I know that she's a strong leader, and that when she does get in office, she has tons of big plans, like even, like, gun laws, like, that's super important too. So I feel like once she becomes president, we'll see a lot of good things from her. Go vote for Kamala Harris.
A Kamala Harris supporter thinks her only policies are about abortion and rights. They might not be wrong.
Want to catch wokey moments in 4K? Watch till the end. Subscribe, like the video, and comment wokies for a chance to win a brand new iPhone 16 or a cash prize. Also, don't forget to check out the next video on the end screen for more chances to win.
What about women that always say, like, women don't get paid as much as men?
It drives me insane.
Is that a fact?
But that's true, no? It is not true when they do the same jobs as men. I'm sorry you want to work at Vogue and pick out pretty bags for a photo shoot, but you don't get paid as much as an engineer. Men and women have different interests. We are biologically different. When I was in school, every single girl that I was friends with was majoring in either comms or TMD fashion, right? The truth is that if you go into a career and you want to be a buyer for Macy's, and men are, you know, taking business classes and want to go be CEOs of hedge funds, they're going to make more money. We have different interests. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Like, men and women are not the same. We are biologically different. We have biological predispositions. The idea that women should want to climb the top of a ladder and, you know, go into corporate America and be there forever. Women want to have kids, right? So there's another reason that they're not making as much money as men, is because a lot of women want to stay home with their children, which is an admirable goal, which feminism tries to wipe away. Like, oh, if you want to stay at home, something that women say to me all the time, why don't you make your husband a sandwich? Okay. Is he hungry? Does he want a sandwich? Like, did he say something? I make my husband food. The last 4 nights, I made my husband dinner. Like, I don't understand this weird like, they're trying to shame women for taking care of their families. Like, that is another element of feminism that I cannot stand. It's an attack on family and these things that work.
Candace Owens dispels the myth of the gender pay gap with her trademark directness.
Do you have gay
in my
friends?
Heart.
You have Jewish friends?
I have...
Do you have gay friends?
I'm trying to be funny.
Do you have friends? I want to know.
Yes, I actually don't have, like, I really kind of feel like I only hang out with my family right now, so I'm a little, I've got 3 kids under 3, so I don't really have friends right now, but yeah, sure.
No, seriously, you don't have friends?
Well, I have gay in my family, so yeah, that's the extent of my friendships with gay people.
Are you homophobic? No, seriously, I want to know.
You're such an absurd
I thought you would say,
being.
Of course I have gay friends.
You're just such an absurd being. First off, the person that You're just an absurd human being. Are you homophobic? Oh my God. I was just like, what does homophobia actually mean? Can you give me a definition of homophobia? If I was homophobic, would I be doing like this show? Do you think I'm like scared? Like I'm like, oh my God, look, there's a gay. I'm so scared. It's
No, not at all.
To have a phobia is like to have a phobia, a fear of. Like, you know, you think I fear like two gay men that are walking down the street holding hands? Like, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't fear anything but God.
When Don Lemon calls Candace Owens transphobic, she turns the tables with undeniable grace and a dose of reality.
You won't be surprised to learn it truly was like female Jesus showed up. Female Jesus walked onto the set. And keep in mind, this is ABC, which already treated her like female Jesus at that ABC News debate. And I use the term ABC News loosely. Just watch the walkout. It looked more like Elvis showing up at a concert than this did like an organization that is supposed to be a news organization hosting a presidential candidate.
Welcome back. The next president of the United States.
Wow. It's worse than Oprah. For the listening audience, that was Whoopi Goldberg who balled her little hands into fists. Oh, the next president. Oh. Could you just try to grow up a little, like try to act like an adult person, like a professional? It would be great.
Megyn Kelly hilariously narrates the cringeworthy welcome Kamala Harris receives on ABC, making it sound like a parody.
They do account for how much they pay in taxes, which I think is important to look at, because then that's a follow-up question, right? That's an important question.
What college did you study statistics in?
Me?
What college did you study statistics in?
Oh, I didn't go to college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were self-educated?
Well, I mean, I can examine a report. I don't think I need 4 years of college to do that.
You went to Cal Poly? Which one?
Went to Cal Poly.
Pomona or San Luis Obispo? Pomona? And you were a statistics major or poli-sci? Physics. Okay. Yeah. All right. And so how did that translate into...
we can examine a report. We don't need 4 years of college education to examine a report, do we?
I don't know. I don't know where your education comes from.
Do you think Americans could use that money over illegal immigrants?
Yeah, it's just like when you're doing a budget. No. I think there should be a budget for everything. That should be part of the budget.
Perhaps to get more specific, I should just show you guys
a report that you found on
the
Google?
breakdown.
So,
well, I mean, you don't have to believe it. You know?
It's not a matter of believing it. I'm just saying, like,
there's contrasting reports as well that I've looked into. This one seems to be the best.
I'm not looking into this. What is your background? I'm
a YouTuber.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm a social media person.
Do you have to have credentials, you think, to talk about this conversation? Would that be more comfortable? Would that be better?
I mean, I could talk to you about ballerinas and everything, but I have no experience. It doesn't mean that I'm an expert because I can talk about it and read about it. That's why I'm wondering like what your experience is and where you're coming from, because I too can read articles and I can also read reports.
Would you like to check this one out just so you can see the breakdown?
I want to go get drunk and have fun with my friends.
Do you support free care for illegal immigrants that are coming into the United States?
For free care for everybody that's in the U.S. I know it's expensive.
Last question. When it comes to, obviously, over the last 3.5 years, the United States, we brought in about, estimated, I would say, a minimum of about 10 million illegal immigrants under this administration.
Wokies ignore the massive spending on illegal immigrants, but are quick to question the credentials of those pointing it out.
So Bernie came out with a competing plan. I want to give you some of the deal points and kind of get a sense of what you think of his deal points. Okay. So if you're making $50,000 or less, most family of 4 will not pay any taxes at all.
Okay. I think that's a good plan, yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Double the child tax credit from $1,000 to $2,000. What do you think about that?
That's a good plan.
He's lowering corporate taxes from 35% to 21%.
Lowering corporate taxes?
Yes.
35. Okay.
If you take out a mortgage for more than $750,000, you're going to end up paying more in taxes on that home.
I could definitely side with that.
The more money you make, the more of a percentage of your income you have to pay the taxes.
Yeah, I know that people who make a lot of money aren't going to like that, but like, that's just how it is. Yeah, exactly, right? 1%, yeah.
He keeps the Obama era tax credits for clean energy.
Yeah. He keeps the Obama era tax credit.
So
100,000 billion %.
What do you think of Bernie's tax plan?
It's fantastic.
Do you feel the burn? Do you find those things to be good, bad?
I find them to be good for the most part.
Seems like a good thing.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's a step in the right direction. I love Bernie. I voted for him.
Yeah, sad.
I miss Bernie more now than ever.
Overall,
give it an A+.
Yeah. A+?
It's all just rational with Bernie, and with Trump, it's not.
Now, what if I tell you these are all in Trump's tax plan?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, this is one of those things.
One of those things. What if I were to tell you that that's all in the Republican tax plan?
Is it?
What if it was?
Is it?
It is.
But why aren't they showcasing those aspects of it then?
They should be, right?
Yeah.
So what if I were to tell you that all this was in the Republican tax plan?
Really? Well, that's really...
Liberals mistake a Republican tax plan for Bernie Sanders because all tax plans look alike, right?
Today we're talking about the phrase Latinx. Have you ever heard of this?
I have. I'm very familiar.
What do you think about it?
Well, I'm a white person, so I know my opinion is less important than other people's.
I feel like it wouldn't hurt to have a gender neutral term for people who are gender nonconforming and Hispanic.
Yeah, I absolutely support any gender neutral pronouns that could be introduced into languages. I think it's super important to make people feel comfortable with their gender, and I think it's absolutely necessary, and I fully support it.
They deserve to have words that reflect who they are. So whatever I can do to help facilitate that, I'm happy to do.
Do you think that the Hispanic community would like to be called Latinx?
Based on my personal experience, I prefer to use it until told otherwise.
I think people who are in the Latina community, they would support that, yeah.
Gracias, Aldo. Yo me encuentro desde Olvera Street en Los Ángeles, California, un centro turístico con cantidad de latinos. Así que vamos a ver qué piensan ellos. ¿Has escuchado alguna vez el término Latinx?
No.
No, primera vez.
¿Primera vez que lo escuchas?
Sí, de verdad, sí.
Como latino, pero con una X al final.
No.
Nunca.
Sí, pero como en chiste, como like a comedy.
Like a meme?
Sí, como meme.
Es como el término latino, pero intercambian la O por una X para tratar de ser más inclusivos.
Yo no le hallo ningún punto. Latinx, no. Ni se escucha como una palabra.
¿No te gusta?
No.
Estas personas, básicamente estos grupos, sugieren que lo que pasa es que el término latino es machista porque, dicen ellos, no incluye a las mujeres. Si, por ejemplo, nosotros tres estamos aquí reunidos y dicen latinos, ¿tú te sientes incluida?
Sí, no hay ningún problema.
No hay ningún problema, ¿verdad?
También con lo que sepan que soy latino, latina, lo que sea, I'm okay. Igual, yo no me ofendo.
Hispanos, latinos, Latina.
The term Latinx is pushed by wokies, but wait until you hear the real opinions from the Latino community. They're not buying it. For more epic takedowns and hilarious debates, click on the screen right now.